Hey guys, wave one of Spoopathon is pretty much wrapped up. What did I read? And I may have done a little book shopping. Hey guys, welcome back. If you are new to my channel, I'm Nicole. Hi. If you are not, thanks for sticking around on this journey with me. As you know, for October, I signed up to be part of Team Librarians for Spoopathon, which is an all-month read-along. I will go ahead and link the description or the announcement video down below. And basically, Wave 1 prompts were released after they're released on October 1st, so I couldn't really do a TBR. I did have a mini TBR of some of the books I wanted to read this month, which once again, I'll link those down below. So the first week of Spoopathon came, Wave 1 prompts came, and I think I'm one book away from completing all the prompts. Points amassed. Let's get into it. So for my first book for Spoopathon, I read Seven Faceless Saints by M.K. Lobb. This is her debut album. I did a more in-depth kind of review about this in its own kind of coming soon video. I'll link that below if you're interested in it. This book comes out February 2023. It was really good. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. I really liked the characters. The world was the only part that I kind of came in and out of a little bit, just because I was trying to struggle with whether this was like a more realistic world or a full-on fantasy world. But other than that, I mean, that was just a really small thing. I really, really enjoyed it. This is basically, to sum it up, it is murder, mystery, solving the mystery, magic, and kind of a lifelong childhood sweethearts, friends turned lovers, turned enemies, turned maybe lovers? Yeah. Anyway, this is the first part in either her series or duology. I know the second book is going to be coming out January of 2024, and I cannot wait. But you have a city that's set up on magic. Those without magic are being sent to the front lines. The main character, Roz, is a disciple or a magic wielder of Patience, which basically gives her metallurgy abilities. And then you have Damien, who does not have any magic powers whatsoever, and he's the captain of the guard. You find out his father killed her father, set about a chain of events that kind of separated them. She's filled with animosity towards him, but she will now use him to try to figure out what is going on, because there are a string of murders, and the only one getting any attention is that of one of the higher ups in society. So Damien is still in love with Roz, needs her help to solve these crimes, and she will do what she can. Got a lot of little twists and turns in it. Like I said, it was very well done. I highly recommend picking this up if you get a chance when it comes out in February. Like I said, if you want more details about how I go into this a little bit more, check out in the video description below. And on to the next one. So after that book, I kind of had a string of soft DNFs. I'm not going to list them because I might go back to them at some point. I really didn't get far enough in them to make a big enough verdict really either way on them. So we're just going to let those be. But the next book I actually did get into was Of Curses and Kisses by, I think it's Sandia Menon. I'm not sure if that's how you pronounce the name. But this is basically the first book in the Rosetta Academy novel. This is a kind of YA based on a Beauty and the Beast retelling kind of story. I DNF'd it. I got about a third of the way done. I was a little over 100 pages in, and I just wasn't jiving with it. Basically, you have the Rao family and the Emerson family who, back to the British occupation of India, just things between the families were rough, and the Emersons stole something from the Raos, And so one of the Rows placed a curse on the Emerson family. Flash forward to the future, and the princess, the crown princess Jaya, finds out, I think it's her sister's name is Ina. I'm not, Isha. Her sister's name is Isha. Isha got into some publicity troubles. The picture was taken, and it was sent to kind of like the paparazzi, and I guess all heck kind of broke loose. And Jaya is now really upset because she finds out that the Emerson heir, who is Gray Emerson, somehow leaked this photo. So she concocts a plan to go to this Rosetta Academy where all like the royal elite, social elite kind of go, and her plan is to make Gray fall in love with her and squish his heart into little itty bitty pieces. Obviously you get dual POV in this, so you do get Gray's POV. You find out pretty early on he had nothing to do with that. It was completely somebody else. That aside, the reasons why I didn't like this book, I didn't like Jaya. I did not like her at all. I felt that for the type of photo that was leaked, the way it was handled, it wasn't a really horrible thing. It was like kind of like a party girl picture. Like it was, everybody was decent in it. But the way that Jaya was just kind of talking about it, I mean, I thought that something else had happened entirely with the family, because they don't really tell you what happened until like almost 100 pages in. And I just couldn't, I was like, leading up to the point where you find out what it was, you're thinking it's something absolutely terrible and awful to befall this family. Maybe it's just me, but I didn't really think it was that big of a deal for the lengths she's going to get revenge. I feel really bad for Gray in this, like just his kind of the family problems that he's having, the curse he's having to go under. He's very kind of holed up, antisocial, you know, because of his beliefs in the curse. And to make matters worse, you have Jaya who just really wants to throw him through the ringer. And outside of Jaya and Gray's story, you have her being this very older, overprotective sister, which, you know, I get it. I'm an older sister myself. So protecting my younger brother, you know, I really definitely wanted to do that, but within reason. She's just really like, she won't really let her younger sister talk to anybody. She watches her with what she says. She's telling her kind of the way she can dress. She's just kind of dictating her sister's life. And then when her sister tells her, hey, I'm thinking of going into engineering as kind of my specialty in this school, I'm like, yeah, you go, girl. You know, I'm like, she's the second born daughter, so she's not inheriting the crown. Jaya is. What could be better for, you know, a royal family to have you have one child who's inheriting the throne and running the country, the next one's in engineering? I mean, you think of that and how that can help your country or your kingdom thrive. I'm like, sounds like a good deal. Jaya's like, no, you can't do that. There's too many men in that field. Okay, that has nothing to do with your sister loving it. It's a very good, I'm like, what is she? So just the way that she's kind of dictating to Isha what she can do, who she can hang out with, what she's kind of wanting to do, I just was like, I can't. I just can't. I know there's supposed to be romance in there. I feel like Gray deserves better right off the bat, because I don't know how you're going to twist this around to make me root for you, because I wasn't. And then to know that this is the first in a series and that their story may or may not get revolved, I had no interest in reading the sequel. So when I got over, you know, around 100 pages in and I still wasn't loving it, I was like, you know, I don't plan on picking up the sequel. I'm just gonna not finish this one because it just wasn't jiving with me. But you know what? To each their own. It might be absolutely wonderful for somebody else, but for me, it was a DNF. The next book I read, 5 stars. 5 stars. I loved it. And that was All of Us Villains by Amanda Foody, Christine Lynn Herman. This was fantastic. I cannot think of a single thing I did not like about it, because even if you didn't like the characters, you're not really meant to. They're horrible. They're doing horrible things, but they're also kind of victims of circumstance. What you basically have in here is a world of magic. There's common magic and high magic, and high magic is all but extinct. There is one line that has been guarded by one family. You have these, I think it's 6 or 7 families in this town where every 20 years, each of these families chooses a champion, a younger generation in their family, to basically go into a suicide mission, if you will, to kill the other the other descendants or the other champions of the other families, reign supreme, and that means that your family comes out on top and they can protect the magic, use the high magic for the next 20 years. However, a book about the family and this kind of war or whatever that's going on every 20 years gets leaked to the public, and mass media ensues. Paparazzi comes in, the government starts getting involved, and what you're basically getting is, this is a multi-POV from at least 4 of the champions' perspectives. I think it's Alistair, Brianni, Isabel, and Gavin. They all come from separate families, and just kind of how they feel getting chosen as the champions, what their circumstances are, and then getting into the what they call the red veil dropping, and when stuff starts happening. The easiest way for me to kind of summarize this is that this is Hunger Games, but where every contestant is victim of circumstance, survival, villain, mixed with magic. Like, if the contestants of Hunger Games could use magic to inflict curses and torture the other contestants, that is this book. But it was really well done. If I have to pick a contestant, I started out liking Gavin I think he's from the Grains family. He was kind of the underdog to me, but not gonna lie, the one who, as I kept reading, I am all team Alistair. I really like Alistair's storyline. I feel for him. But all the characters, you kind of have this, like, I really like you, but I also don't like you because of some of the things they are forced to do. I know the sequel came out, All of Our Demise, that came out in August, so I will definitely be searching to pick that one up as soon as I can, because this, 5 stars. Absolutely loved it. Highly recommend it. And then as far as for completing more prompts for wave 1, I forgot I just didn't tell you exactly any of those waves that I did. I will go ahead and try to link what I put them in, or what prompts they fulfilled and what points I got from them later on during editing. So you'll probably see that and then hear this afterwards. But I am still working on the last one, which would be the sprint, because I've already got my point value for this, the city break tiles after that. So for the last book for wave 1, I will be finishing up Not Your Average Hot Guy by Gwenda Bond. Got my bookmark in it because I'm still working on it. This so far for me is a 3-star. If it changes, I will let you know in the next video. But you basically have Callie, who is the daughter of a woman who runs an escape room, and Callie's left in charge with her friend Mag, and a group of people come in that are basically a cult, and they steal this book from one of the escape room setups that, lo and behold, is an actual spell book. They use it to conjure basically a demon, to make a pact with the demon, to find out the location of the Spear of Destiny for, like, ultimate world domination. And they take Callie and Mag as kind of offerings to this demon, and the demon ends up being Luke, who is the son of, Morningstar. And he is kind of down on his luck because he needs to get souls for hell. Otherwise, he's going to be a disappointment to dear old daddy, who is the king. And so he ends up showing up under the guise of one of the higher up demons. And he kind of is taken with Callie right away, and he kind of wants to help her. But at the same time, he's supposed to be kind of like a bad guy. So it's a little bit of a romantic comedy. It's kind of what it needs to be right now. It's not like the greatest thing in the world, but it is making me chuckle a little bit. So I will continue it and see how it goes. Like I said, right now it looks like 3 stars. If that changes, I will let you know. That being said, right now I am sitting at about 300 points. So like I said, I've been crossing off, you know, I did my waves, I'm working on my sprint. I already got my points to heal, so that'll be pretty much taken care of. And then I'll be on the city break, and then we will go on to wave 2, which she has released the, she has released the prompts for that. And I'm not going to go over them now because they're on little bulletins, and there's like 10 prompts here and like another 5 or 6 here. So it's a lot of prompts. So like I said, I will list what prompts I use to fulfill all the book requirements. But it looks like wave 2 is going to be really good for me because it fits, the prompts that were given are going to fit a few of the books that I picked out, and, you know, especially Dracula. I know I listed that on my October T.B.R. Video for the ones that I did want to get through this month, and it already fits like 2 or 3 of the prompts, so that's going to probably be a big point book for me as well. But so far I'm having a lot of fun and reading some interesting books. You know, like I said, I got a 4-star in there, a 5-star in there, and we'll just keep at it and see where things go. Okay, so on top of doing my Spoopathon waves, like I said, I did a little bit of a book buy. I went to my local discount store, Ollie's, and they had a few new books in there. So I'm going to try to go through these a little quickly. I only got like 5, so we'll see how it goes. But I think I only spent like $17 to $20, and 4 out of 5 of these are hardbacks, so I can't complain. The first book up is The Magic Misfits, the second story by Neil Patrick Harris. I don't know much about this. I'm pretty sure it's a middle grade that has to do with magicians, kind of, you know, taking on adventures. It's written by Neil Patrick Harris, and I really like Neil Patrick Harris. But it just seemed cute. I've seen this come up a little bit. Like I said, this is the second book in the series, but it was $2.99, and this is a hardcover. So we're gonna go with it, and I'll just have to look and find the other one. And I'm just looking now, and this has the cutest, like, under the desk jacket, it's a little monkey, and it looks like, you know, the tarot cards. You open it up, and it's got like really cute little end pages. So I don't get very many books that have a really nice excuse me, hardcover underneath the desk jacket, but it's really cute, and I'll have fun reading it, and we'll see if you know, how it goes. So look forward to that. Speaking of Neil Patrick Harris, one of you guys actually recommended the biography of Neil Patrick Harris, which I ended up finding, and this is his biography, but it's written as a choose your own adventure. For those of you who know, I got the choose your own adventure, The Girl Walks into a Bar, which I read in September. Basically, West Aussie Diamond Art left it in the comments saying that there was a biography of Neil Patrick Harris that was written in a choose your own adventure style. And I was like, you know what? Like Neil Patrick Harris, and this just looks like so much fun to kind of, you know, get through. The fact that he did it in a choose your own adventure, I think it might be, maybe it'll be confusing because you're gonna have to flip around in his biography, but I'm curious to see how that's going to work. But like I said, it was $3.99 for this hardcover, so I picked it up, and I just want to give a shout out to West Aussie Diamond Art. Thank you for recommending it to me, and I can't wait to get started on it. The next book that I got has been making the rounds last year on BookTube, and that is The City We Became by N.K. Jemisin. I know this is going to be a series. I know the second book is out already. From what I understand, this is about a human being that actually embodies major cities. And so in this one, I think normally it's like one person that embodies or becomes kind of like the physical representation of what the city is. And for this one, it's actually like a few people. So I don't know if like they're gonna like fuse together or something and become the city, or if each of them represents different aspects of the city. So, but I know that it's gotten some really great reviews, and I saw it there for $4.99, hardback edition. So I figured, you know what, I'll pick it up. for $4.99, and we'll see, you know, how I feel about it, because I'm not usually one into sci-fi, but like I said, the reviews on this were really good and it just keeps coming up, so kind of had to take a chance on it. The next book I got was Racked and Stacked, a Blacktop Cowboys novel by Lorelei James. I got this one because it was $2.99. I'm not usually one for cowboy romances, but it just sounded really good because I'll just read it to you. Growing up with three older brothers, Larissa or Riss Thorpe defines the term tomboy, a moniker that has never mattered to her until she crossed paths with sexy cowboy player like Palmer. Seeing him in action on the road, Riss can tell that Ike prefers his women soft-spoken and feminine. And since Riss is obviously not his type, it's unlikely that they'll mix business and pleasure when they're in close quarters together. Former cattle broker Ike Palmer was ready for a new chapter in his life as a stock contractor when he started working with Riss, a sassy truck driver who gets under his skin at every turn. But Riss is unlike any woman he's ever met, and her candor inflames him in the most unexpected ways. After circumstances force a truce between them, Riss and Ike will have to choose to maintain the stubbornness that keeps them apart or take a chance on that fiery attraction that could lead to something more. So I think it kind of got me with the fact that she's a tomboy, and that it's already telling you that they have this kind of banter going on, and witty banter, and I'm all about having the witty banter. I think it's just so much fun. And I think it just really, like, when they have that fueled with the attraction, it just makes for a really entertaining time in a book. So I'm going to give it a try, and, you know, we'll see how I feel about that. The last book I got was a pleasant surprise, and as you can see, it was regularly priced at $18.99, and I got it for $1.99. Actually, I don't know if you'll be able to see that. But it's called We Are the Ashes, We Are the Fire by Joy McCullough. This one intrigued me because basically what it is you have a girl who her younger sister was a victim of sexual assault, and he gets, the perpetrator gets convicted, but the judge passes the verdict, basically not sending the perpetrator to jail. He basically, yes, you're guilty, but we're going to let you walk away scot-free, which just is unheard of. And so the main character, M, she's wanting justice, and she starts, when she's interviewed by a reporter, she's saying she wants to learn how to use a sword. And the reason for that is, I guess, somehow she starts learning about a 15th century French noblewoman, Marguerite de Brussau, who's legendary as an avenging knight for victims of sexual assault in the 15th century. Of course, this piqued my interest. I love, you know, history. It's what I went to school for. And finding out that there was, I never heard about a woman, you know, a swordswoman who, you know, did this. So obviously I had to look and see, was this real? And yes, Marguerite de Brussau did in fact exist. And yes, she did. She was like an avenging swordsman vigilante on behalf of female victims of assault. So I am really excited to read this. It's actually got like some drawings in there. It looks like it has some stuff, like just the writing style is really interesting. And then you've got like regular text. So I have no idea what I'm in for with this, but I just think it's such an interesting and unique story that I could not put it down for $1.99. I mean, really, hardcover. We're going to take a chance and watch it be like an amazing read. So that is basically what I have read up to point for Spoopathon, along with my little mini book haul. I hope you enjoyed. If you have read any of these books, let me know. If you want to know any more about them, let me know. What are you guys reading this month for spooky season? I'm really curious about that. Are you guys participating in Spoopathon? What team are you guys on if you are? And I just can't wait to see you guys for Wave 2 to see what I'm able to get through in the next week. So I guess I will see you then. Bye.